Hello, it's so nice to meet you.
Hi, lovely to meet you. I'm Rima.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Just to jump right into this, why do you feel you are qualified for this position?
I mean, I could speak about my experiences here at City. So I've been serving as the Vice President for the past year. But if I'm honest, the attribute of myself that makes me feel that I'm most qualified is the fact that I feel that students feel comfortable coming to me, and that's really important when it comes to serious issues that they might want to take forward to the university. I need to know that they feel comfortable with me and that they trust me to take those issues forward. So that's what I would say.
The student union is something of my interest. It's actually my passion because I've been part of student activism for 8 years. I've been to 2 universities before, and I took part in the union there as well. Basically, activism is something in my blood, I say, and I believe as a human, my part, if I have everything with me, then the next thing for me is to help the people around me. And as a student, I can help the students around me when I'm in the university as well. And university life is something where you don't just do the academics, you learn more than that. If you want to become a leader, you work on your leadership qualities as well. So I think student union is the platform from where a university can produce leaders as well.
In terms of diversity on campus, how do you plan to appeal to the needs of all students?
Well, we have a big range of students, as you know, here at City. We have over 7,000 international students. We have students of all different faiths. The best thing to do is talk to them. I mean, for example, when it comes to faith, we very often talk about the faith societies that we have here at City. And we often go and talk to those, but what we don't realise is that there are people studying here at City who are of other faiths, which might not have a society. So it's very important that you do go out and talk to those. So for example, the Islamic societies that we have here at City. We have the Islamic Society, we have the Ahlul Bayt Society, and which have, various different beliefs. So going to them and talking to them about those is really important. But we also have a different sect of Islam, Ahmadis, and we do have students of that faith here. And I think I've met them through going out and talking to them. So the more students that you can interact with, the better. And it's good to have those conversations constantly going with the work that you're doing.
First of all, students, if you want anything from this university, you need to be part of the political process. If you don't vote, do not expect from your union. Do vote. We need a good turnout this time. If turnout is high, I'm very optimistic the future of the union will be bright. Secondly, this university has a history. Amazing alumni, 5 prime ministers for England, 2 founders of India and Pakistan, first prime minister of India, big businessmen, minister from China, federal minister of Greece. I myself was in shock when I went through. I'm not a student of engineer, but there were many engineers as well. I couldn't figure out how big those posts were. But amazing alumni. This university has a history. Today, it's our identity. Tomorrow, it will be our pride. We need to put an effort to make this university we need to increase the reputation, make this university stronger. Our university's strength is decreasing every year. Fees are increasing. Merit is going down. We, as students, need to stand up. We can't rely on the university's management.
Do you feel you achieved the goal you proposed last year during your campaign of putting City on the map for university atmosphere?
I would probably say yes and no to that question, if I'm perfectly honest. To an extent, I feel we have reached out to more people outside of university. So when I used to talk about City University, I used to always get the response, oh, Birmingham City. And I'd say no, City University London, and they didn't quite understand the concept because they hadn't really interacted with many people from City University before. So again, going out and having those conversations is really important. So in terms of student media, for example, we now have a fairly good relationship with King's Student Media. We also have this email system where you can communicate with every single sabbatical officer in the same position as you. And I deliver information about what we're doing here at City there. We've also had Westminster University, some students there pick up on our raising and giving activities, and they asked me to write about that. So through writing, I've managed to do that. In terms of the general atmosphere here at City, in terms of events, I'm going to be honest, no one would say City is the best for parties, and that is the truth. And there are several reasons for that. We did have difficulties in terms of residents complaining about the parties that we did have, which meant we had to shut off a lot of our events. But I mean, again, we're looking at interim facilities. I could either spend money on developing Sadler's Bar, but I know it's not going to be there next year, so it would not be a wise investment. So I had to take that and do what I can. In
terms of the use of the word rebel in your campaign posters, how would you use this if elected? Rebel has a very strong connotation.
It depends, Catherine. To be honest, sometimes to just sign a petition is also a rebel. Sometimes to do referenda, which is right of the student, is also a rebel. Sometimes to just silently sit outside with posters and doing a small demonstration is also. Just standing, one person standing with a black, ribbon on it. There's a way to rebel. Rebel is something which is not negative. It's part of democratic processes. It's a way to get to your rights sometimes. And in the whole world, these things, these movements to rebel do take place, and the end result is sometimes positive, sometimes negative. Now, it's as a leader, with the experience I have, I believe I know the 101 ways to do the demonstrations, get to my goals. When people say, how will I do this and this point, which you later discuss, I have the answer. I know my ways. It's all about now them trusting me.
I've seen some of your social media outlets. Do you feel that if you were elected, would you stand by your political agenda, or would you focus more on here at the university and how you can impact students?
Obviously, I have a political ideology as well with me, and this is part of, I believe every human should have an identity. He should have some ideology, and every person having ideology, I respect him a lot, because then it means he's using his head, he's using his heart in the right way, and it's productive. Obviously, there's nothing wrong in having a political ideology. Regarding it affecting my university, when I'm in university, when I'm in England, I'm totally focusing on my studies. That's it. Over here, I'm here to learn what I can learn from here. My past, my activities back home, they are separate. Right now, I've cut myself totally from those activities. But being a student of international human rights, the war on terror and the law of war is my specialization as well. So I do follow it as my subject, and I need to be aware of all the current affairs happening. So it might look as a political thing as well, which maybe it does. I think it's not an issue as well. But I think I don't believe it should anyway affect because actually I'm really very passionate about what I'm about to do. Maybe if I had to take break from my studies, which I don't have to, I might have taken. This is my actually big test to completely come up to my promises fully.
If you were to win, how would you feel about being the first female student union president here at City in over 3 years?
Women have a lot to give, and I think there are a lot of barriers placed in our way, and the way to overcome those is to empower yourselves. And the first step to do that is to put yourself forward for the positions that people don't automatically presume that you should be in. So that's what I've done by putting myself up for election. I wouldn't want students to vote for me because I'm a woman, but I'd like them to vote for me for what I stand for, and that's as a woman. And it's interesting because when it comes to leadership especially, people would say to women, you're too emotional or something like that. And actually, it's my emotions that drive me to do work. If I believe that something is right for students, and students have told me that emotion will drive me to be fully committed to that. And I actually believe that's a strength that I have as a woman, is that emotion.